Matt, what happens when Celtics take on Nordic Warriors? We are going to find out in this fight because you have Jake Matthews taking on Emil Meek. You have Valhalla and the Celtic Kid, and this is a fun fight at 170 pounds because we haven't seen Emil Valhalla Meek in a very long time. His last fight was almost 2 years ago against Bartosz Fabinski. Before that, he fought Kamaru Usman. Those are really tough tests. Maybe not Bartosz Fabinski in terms of the whole landscape of the division, but now you have Jake Matthews, who's done things at 170 pounds since moving up from 155. I mean, the one loss in recent memory is the Rocco Martin loss, but since then, he beats Rostam Akman, and even before that, decent wins against quality opponents. You can say what you will about Shinjo Anzai, but that guy is a Japanese fisherman, so don't forget that. And he fought Michael Venom Page after that. Matt, this is one of those fights that has very high potential because you know what you're getting with Emil Meek, a power puncher, but he's been out due in part to a slew of injuries. He's had issues with his main striking elbow, his bicep, and he's taken on a fresh fighter in Jake Matthews. And with Matthews, again, you know what you're going to get. A good grappler. He's good all over the cage. And if you look over at the odds, Jake Matthews commanding the line. He's a minus 230 favorite. Emil Meek at plus 190 over on Tapology, Matt, out of 547 votes. 80% are going with Jake Matthews, 81 by decision. How do you see this one?
Emil Meek needs to learn how to defend a takedown or this fight's going to be over pretty quick. Jake Matthews not only takes people down, he's really good at submitting them. And it's not just a control-based positioning. He's really always looking for the finish on the ground. He's got really good jiu-jitsu. Emil Meek has one massive hole in his game. He doesn't defend takedowns at all. And not even in the fact that, he's not good for a UFC fighter. He's just not good at defending them in the least bit.
He got into the UFC with a wild win over a recognizable name in Husamar Palhares, and in defending the takedown, he defended it with a strike, which rarely works.
And that's the problem. Emil Meek, can he knock out Jake Matthews? Of course he can. Can he knock out Jake Matthews before Jake Matthews gets a hold of him? Probably not. That's my problem with this fight. Emil Meek needs to win by knockout. I don't see a world where he wins by decision due to the fact that, really, Jake Matthews needs one takedown per round, and he can win this fight quite easily. It's an awful fight for Emil Meek. He got a big promotional push when they first signed him with the whole Valhalla thing. He had the axe and whatnot coming into the cage, but it really hasn't worked out for him. And honestly, if Jake Matthews beats him by finish especially, it could be Emil Meek's last fight in the UFC. Hopefully not, because he does have some exciting performances, and he puts on a good fight. He's a fun character, but when you really look at what he does well in that welterweight division, there's not a single guy in the top 15 who wouldn't be able to single leg him, take him down, and beat him up on the ground. Even guys like Ponzinibbio or Masvidal, who you see as primarily strikers, they would go outside of their game plan because that's how much of a weakness it is for Emil Meek. So unless that's all he's been doing for the last 2 years is putting on a singlet and wearing wrestling shoes, I don't see him winning this fight.
Yeah, and with Jake Matthews, I mean, he's really a triple threat all over the cage. And you look at a guy in Emil Meek, he's never been submitted in his pro career, which is very interesting, especially having fought a Bartosz Fabinski and Kamaru Usman in his last two and dropping them both by decision. So yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to be taking Jake Matthews, but I'm really looking forward to this fight. And there's a lot of good fights on our card. UFC Auckland, main card, and prelim predictions here with Fight Night Picks. Make sure you check them out over there. And as always, like we like to say with Fight Night Picks, Matt, let's get into it.